Alright. I don't have a funny intro for this one. Hello and welcome to First Thoughts.
Hilarious.
I'm Simon. This is Justin. And today we're giving our first thoughts on Bring Her Back.
Well, that was a movie.
The follow-up to the Philippous brothers' first film, which was Talk to Me. Saw that a couple years ago, I think that's when that came out. You haven't seen it, right?
Of course not.
So it's another horror movie. This one follows a couple of step-siblings who have lost their dad in an accident, and so now go into foster care, and then creepy shit happens. It's a horror movie. And also, fun twist, the sister of the duo is legally blind. She can see some shadows and shapes, but she, for what it's worth, is blind. Which actually led to some really interesting and fun camera stuff, because they like to do really shallow depths of vision, and so you would only see like her hand or her shoulder as they're following her around, so you could only see shadows and shapes like what she would see in theory. I saved this movie for second. We just, before this, we watched Karate Kid, because I wanted to see the better movie second. And I don't know if it was the right choice, because I think I was too mentally exhausted for this movie. I am still processing a lot. How we feeling, Justin?
I definitely liked it more than Karate Kid.
That's not the bar.
I mean, it's a bar. It's a low bar, but it's
I
a
need
bar.
to go to a bar. Oh, good God.
Yeah, these were a little rough back to back, but I will say, hey, finally a horror film that feels like a horror film.
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, this was probably the creepiest movie of the year. I know we said that somewhat recently about something, and I'm not remembering what. This was, I think, though, definitely the creepiest movie of the year. That made me the most uneasy.
Yeah?
And similarly to Talk to Me, because Talk to Me was one of those movies that I was like, after I was done watching it, I went out to the parking lot to talk about it. I was like, I don't even want to sit alone in a dark parking lot right now. That movie kind of fucked me up a little bit, but I enjoyed it a lot. This movie fucked me up a lot. I haven't decided yet if I enjoyed it or not, though. But I am willing to consider that I did. I think I just need to process it, like I said. I need to work through this a little bit. To be fair, though, also, with Talk to Me, as much as I said I enjoyed that movie, I haven't gone back once. I only watched the movie once. Have not really had much of a desire to go back in the past couple of years. So this may be the same sort of thing where I watched this once and may not go back. And that may not mean that I disliked it. It's just, their movies smack you in the face and you went, okay, thank you. And then you don't go back for seconds. I don't know. Like I said, still figuring out what I think.
I'm never going to see this one again. But I want to try to wrap my head around the complete plot, I guess. It's just how the ending was supposed to work out. We'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, the story itself was very bizarre. I
got a lot of beats up until a point, and then they threw some wicked curveballs in there. I'll give them that.
Wicked
Wicked.
smart.
It's a wicked pisser.
I don't know, like, I'm tempted almost to say, like, a thought that crossed my mind during it was style over substance. But I don't know that that's actually true, because I feel like there is substance there. I just wasn't, like, in tune, like I wasn't in the right frequency for this movie. And like I said, partially that's because I just watched Karate Kid, and partially I just don't know if I vibed with this movie, like I don't know if it really entirely worked for me. And I can't necessarily point to a whole lot of specific reasons why. I just think as a whole I was just like, I respect this movie. It has admirable craftsmanship. Like I already mentioned, the cinematography, it looks very good. I thought the directing had some beautiful moments in there, and the atmosphere. It's such a great atmospheric movie. Like, it keeps you uncomfortable and like almost queasy.
Yeah.
Most of this movie. But I don't know. I just didn't really like fully get into all of it, and I think maybe that's the writing of this movie I just didn't enjoy. I don't know.
Yeah,
Gore was good.
it was solid. It wasn't over the top.
A lot of practical effects as well. Sometimes to its own detriment. Like, I mean, the little kid who played Ollie, I think he seems fantastic. I very rarely praise child actors, and I thought he was great. But, so they had to put him up in various, costuming and makeup and stuff, and I thought some of it looked really good, but there was one effect in particular, and I'll get to it later, that I thought looked pretty silly. But overall, I thought the practical effects worked well. In particular, one thing which I will for now refer to as the hangnail that I liked a lot.
That was good.
Yeah, I love to. There was two women behind us that I forget what they said exactly, but in unison they both said the exact same phrase. It's like, "Oh my god!" When it happened, like in exact unison, exact tone. I was like, "Am I hearing double, or is that two people?"
That's two best friends right there. Now I gotta say, I don't know how old the actor for Ollie is, but damn, they gave that kid a lot of interesting stuff to do, and it was decently well executed.
I think you nailed it. You know what this reminded me of? Actually reminded me of a bunch of stuff. It reminded me of, was that Speak No Evil with James McAvoy? Similar kind of, I guess, plot to an extent. It
Somewhat.
obviously completely deviates at a certain point, but similar setup, I guess.
I see where you're going.
But as far as like feel and style and also how I felt afterward, remember Cuckoo and how we felt walking into that movie?
Yeah.
I was going like, man, that looked really good, and man, that was interesting, and man, I liked the acting, but man, what the hell was any of that? And that's how I feel right now, where I'm like, I feel like I should like this movie, but like, I don't know. I don't really.
I feel like I have a slightly greater understanding of what happened here than there, but I could be way off. I kind of, there's still a major part that I need to piece together, because I don't know if I missed it or I just didn't understand the explanation.
I don't know that there is one. I mean, like, and it's tough because we'll get to it more in spoilers, but I feel like the explanation we got is all that matters, which is just weird shit, happened.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a horrible time for her.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I wish, once again, this would be a better said in spoilers, but like, there were certain characters that I wish were further developed, and we got to resonate with them more, because I think that would have made the plot more meaningful or more impactful if the characters were three-dimensional instead of just a thing, there.
Yeah.
And so that is, I don't have many complaints that are like objective criticisms. Most of it's just like, I don't know. But like, that is one of them. I will also say on the first one equally, if not more so, unsettling. There is a scene in that one where a person wakes up to another character with their entire foot in their mouth. And so there were no toe sucking in this, and I think that was a missed opportunity. We did it once, why can't we do it again, guys? We set the precedent. You can't go back. You can't lower the bar now. No toe sucking in this one, man.
Listen. What was the Tarantino perfect trilogy? What was it, like one where each movie is better than the last, right?
Okay.
Something like that. All right. That means we need to elevate
more
the toe
toes.
sucking each time.
More
right?
toes.
That's how we
the
make this
last
a
guy
good
got
trilogy.
5 toes in his mouth. Now you need to put more.
10. Come on.
10 toes, not down, in.
Yes. Then finale movie, we up at the 20. All right.
Jesus. How do we do it?
Listen, man. Large jaw. That's how we get it done. All right. It unhinges, snake-like.
It's funny. We got a comment on a recent video that was like, I enjoyed this. It was like two friends talking. And I was like, I enjoy the like you put in there. It's like, we're like friends talking. Anyway, yeah, this is one of those movie reviews that's going to be less of a review and more just kind of like,
I don't know what to say.
yeah.
That's not a spoiler. If you're into horror, this is probably the most horrific movie. I don't know why that felt wrong, but it's the most
Well, you
horrific.
said horrific.
Yeah, the most horrific movie I've seen in a little while. Just like
Yeah.
on that scale. I mean, it wasn't. I'm not gonna go home and think about it, but I'm still a little confused. That's most of what the lingering feeling about this movie
See,
is.
I'm not confused. I'm lingering on. I'm still asking if I liked it or not. I don't know. Because, like I said, objectively, I feel like it was a well-made movie. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the difference between technical aspects and then just the writing being just not uninspired, because it was a unique, interesting idea, but just not like fleshed out in a way that I cared about or something. I don't know. I really don't know. And that doesn't feel like a legitimate gripe. It almost feels like a subjective thing, which makes it hard for me as a critic to say it, because I feel like I don't know. Like, if you like it, you liked it. I don't know that I did.
No, I feel for the main pair of characters, the main siblings. I don't really feel for anyone else.
There was a jump scare that got me, even though I knew it was coming. So that's impressive, I guess. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Like I said, execution, it's well executed. I guess I don't know. I'm circling here. I'm stuck in a...
Yeah, well made, but wow. Yeah, interesting. I will.
Not for me, but it's for somebody. It's for a lot of people, probably. I feel like, and this is something that not a lot of people will agree with, but I feel like when I watch a horror movie, I want there to be a point, I feel like. And I felt empty watching this and after it, and that's happened to me a few times where I've watched certain horror movies. Like, I think the first time that ever happened, because this is an example that always sticks in my head, is The Lady in Black. I think that's what it's called, the Daniel Radcliffe movie. When I finished that movie, I went, what was the point of that? And I think truly the point of it was just to be a scary movie. And a lot of people are like, yeah, that's what horror is, duh. But, like, when I watch horror movies, I want there to be some substance, something there, you know? Like, when we talk about The Woman in the Yard, another woman doing things. I love that movie, or, you know, other examples, Babadook, Antlers, Night House, stuff like that, where I'm like, I feel like there was a point here, and I really enjoyed it. And this one, there definitely was something being said, but it didn't feel like it was being said very emphatically or very well. Like, adjective, something. I don't know. I just didn't feel like I got it.
Listen, there was no message here. There was pain and grief and attempts to cope with that in really strange ways.
And I guess that's the
Unexplained, strange
point,
ways.
but, like, I don't... Talk to Me had a message that was like, don't do drugs, kids. Kind of. And this one is just like, man, grief's a bitch.
Yeah.
And that's a fine message. So I guess what I'm saying again is I don't know why it didn't work for me. It just didn't. It just didn't. It wasn't for me. But I feel like it's going to be for a lot of people. Like, because it's very well executed, and there's a lot of oohs and ahs and ooches and eeches and all of the sneeches on the beaches. So it's going to work for a lot of people. I just felt kind of blah throughout the experience. And that's all I can really say. I don't have a better reason than that.
That's fair.
Maybe, like Cuckoo, this will get better once we get into spoilers and we can talk about it. I don't know. That's just my opinion right there. I don't really want to give it a number because I don't know how I feel. But I'm not going to give it less than a 6 because it is well made. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I guess I could go 6, 6.5. Anything less than a 6 feels
Unfair. Because
It's not Karate Kid.
No. So, yeah, let's just get into spoilers because... I need to talk about this shit. If you want to stick around, please do. But if you don't want anything spoiled, go watch for yourself, come back, and we can all try and figure it out together. Or if you got it, let us know, or if you know why this movie's great, just tell us that too. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Spoilers. So what don't you understand?
Okay. So
Because I feel like it's pretty straightforward.
So, like, I totally got...
And trust me, I was looking for things that didn't make sense till I could make a ending explained, because I did it for the last video, or the last movie that these guys made. I was like, ooh, I could get YouTube views. But then I went, there's nothing to explain. So I didn't.
Fair. So, okay. The second she cut off the father's hair in the casket,
Right.
I was like, okay, we're dealing with some weird voodoo shit here.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing some creepy ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to think, okay, she's got a dead kid. She's got this other random kid that no one's really talking about who's doing really weird shit and can't be near animals and super hungry. And I'm like, okay.
They cut out his tongue and now you go,
That
oh,
would've
wait,
been
no,
fu-
that's the wrong movie.
That would have been interesting. It was so nice. We did it twice. No, I was just like, okay, I guess she wants to somehow bring back her daughter or something.
Bring her back?
or
Where'd you get that?
change. Yeah. See, but I thought that was about the whole time. I thought that was going to be about the sister. I'm going in this whole movie expecting the sister to get like pulled into some mirror world or some shit. I don't remember what the trailer was like at all. So
I didn't watch the trailer. I purposely avoided it because I already knew I wanted to see it, so I didn't watch the trailer.
yeah.
But I did not think that.
All I've seen about this movie is the poster and the little bathroom mirror advertisements. So to me, that screamed, oh, mirror world possession thing. She's getting sucked in, brother. Well, I didn't know about the brother, but when I saw the brother, I'm like, oh, brother's got to save her or whatever. Didn't quite go that route.
No.
It's about the foster mother's daughter bringing her back.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But like, I figured.
See, I feel like I knew that, and I don't know if I just assumed that or if I actually knew that, but I was like, it's going to be about bringing somebody back from the dead. Because I was getting major Pet Cemetery vibes from the marketing, even though I was avoiding it. Every time I did catch a glimpse of it, I was like, oh, Pet Cemetery.
Okay.
And it's not Pet Cemetery, but it's adjacent.
No, I can see the similarities. Yeah. But like after I saw the hair thing, I figured out she has a dead daughter. I start to think bringing the daughter back into the kid. Then it got complicated later on. Oliver is, I guess, the vessel, or I assumed was the vessel for the body. And Oliver is so hungry. They're going around for everything. I didn't quite get that. And then Oliver took a chunk out of...
Eating for two.
Yeah, I didn't quite...
He's pregnant with hunger.
Yeah. And when I saw the distended belly later, I started to think, is that like supposed to be like hunger distended, or is it like
I think he had
a
just
drown in the pool distended, or are you full?
I think he was just eating a ton, and then he got like a beer belly from all the eating. And that was the effect I was talking about. It looked silly. Everything else worked.
Yeah,
the belly was silly.
That was odd. But Oliver took a chunk out of the foster mother and then mimicked her voice. I didn't quite then grasp everyone's roles, what could be done.
Demons.
Right.
Invite the demon host into body.
Makes total sense, yeah.
Demon host in body now, for some reason, must eat part of person in order to bring that life force or transfer life force or whatever.
Classic Back from the Dead zombie hunger. Yeah.
Right. The demon cannot have eaten anybody else because that is their one opportunity to do it. Right?
Right.
And so he's not been eating anything.
Right. Nope. Makes
So
sense.
every once in a while, though, so the demon boy doesn't starve to death, gets a little bit of somebody. So give him a little bit of the hair so he survives. Takes a bite out of her, so now he's partially her but not totally. He's mimicking the voice but not fully. He eats the face off of the brother, so now he talks like him too. So it's like he started the process but not fully done the process with any of them.
Yeah, and that feels like, well, outside of the hair, because like she gave him the hair. But it felt,
Yeah, when the hair started, I thought it was going to be voodoo shit, and then that got dropped.
And it felt like, oh, that was all fuck ups. Like he shouldn't be eating these people, because then you see the frozen daughter later, and it makes sense. Oh yes, okay, now we're wrapping back into my original when you first see him take a bite out of her. Now it all starts to make sense again.
Yeah.
He has to eat the frozen daughter's body to take on the daughter's personality.
Yeah, and then I wonder, they didn't say anything, but I wonder if because she was frozen it wasn't working, because he ate a decent amount of her face.
Like, and then why did you have to do it partially at a time? Why doesn't he just eat her right away? I guess because you need the sacrifice, but does he need to finish her at the same time that the sacrifice is killed or something? It got a little complicated with the extra sacrifice part.
Well, so I think, I don't know that, so you're talking sacrifice when you say her dying?
Her having to drown Piper.
Yeah, so I think, I don't think
like
that was a sacrifice. I think that was, so he, as you saw in the VHS video, just because, so when he eats the person, he's like containing their essence in him.
Right.
He's not going to transform into that person. He then takes that essence and then he spits it in somebody else's mouth. So they're waiting for her to die in the same way. I don't know why it has to be the same way, but they need her to die so then she can get the essence spat into her and she can become.
Right, and that's what also confused me because I assumed he was gonna become the daughter.
I thought that at first too, yeah.
Because then
they
at one
showed
point,
the VHS video.
right, and then at one point she says, or later on she says that she was gonna bring the daughter back as her, because you're just like her.
Yeah.
And that started to throw my theories off a bit.
Yeah. I think it's all there. It's just,
it was a lot.
It's a lot, and it's not clearly explained. Like, I feel like I understood all of it, but it was also just like,
they piece it together over time, but they leave you second guessing a lot of your theories a bunch, and then
it's also just not entirely clear. Like I said, with the frozen body, was that not working? And maybe it was working, but we never saw him take on any of her traits, and so I was like, is it not working? I don't know. But there was also a very short period of time after he ate her face to then chasing the girl and then eventually stepping across the line and becoming Connor or whatever the kid's name was.
She kept saying, like, how do I know if you're in there? And I couldn't tell if that was... At first I thought it was, like, the demon in the kid. But then, like, if the kid's been eating the daughter, like, did she mean the daughter at all?
I thought it was the daughter, but...
Before that, I was positive it was the demon. Like, she summoned some demon into this kid, and now you got a
beautiful angel. Yeah, and that's where I'm like, I'm on the cuckoo train again, where it's like, it's not like it's a ridiculous concept necessarily, but they just don't explain it well, which makes it convoluted, and then you're second guessing yourself the whole time. It's also similarly artistic, which is why I was like, I like this, and then I'm also confused. So yeah, I'd put this in the same boat as Cuckoo, where I'm like, I want to like it, but I don't really, and that's frustrating for me.
See, what that means that everyone else is going to universally love this, and I'm going to see one of my favorite musicians call this one of their top 5 movies of all time for some weird reason.
I think it's okay. It's very well made, but like, only technically, you know? It does half the movie so well, and half the movie being, you know, camera work and you know, atmosphere and all those vibes and shit, but then the half where it's like making a story that's compelling and having me be invested in characters and stuff, that, or even pacing, like I felt like the pacing was all over the place.
Yeah.
And also, I forget if I said this about their first movie or if it was a different movie I was talking about, where I was like, when pacing in horror is messed up like this, there's no room for the anxiety to build. Like, you need the tension to build, and it's like the tension just, like, they turn it on in the beginning and then it's just not building. It's not like it's constant tension, but it either is there or it isn't. It's at no point ramping up. It just kind of is like there, and it's hard for me to get invested when I feel like we're not moving, we're not growing, we're not getting somewhere.
It's partially the number of characters, partially their age.
I thought that the brother was the main character.
Same.
And then he's dead, and then you gotta switch over to the girl, and I'm like, I barely know you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no tension with these characters because you don't expect these characters to die. I was positive the brother was going to make it out of that. Even the drowning. I thought it was just going to be like she didn't push him down enough, and in the end,
Well, you know,
Him and the sister.
when you get drowned, your heart doesn't stop beating, so he actually didn't really die.
Yeah,
because you
see?
gave him some CPR. And he's
But like,
fine.
I expected him to show up again, and then we find out that, his face has been eaten, and now the kid's got a little bit of his voice,
Yeah.
and that was a little surprising. But like, there was no tension, there was no build up to that because I just never believed
Yeah.
you would touch him. Definitely not the daughter.
Yeah, no, who I wanted them to, because I said this in the non-spoiler section, who I wanted them to kind of lean into their relatability a little bit more. If this was an allegorical horror movie, which I don't think it is, I think it's just
I don't really say it.
demonic shit and also talking about grief. But if they really wanted to talk about how grief is your personal demons and stuff, make Laura sympathetic, like make us understand why. Because they started to try to at the end, but it was too little too late. Because I thought about it when she was drowning her, and she yells at one point, "Just let me do this." And I was like, that's a really interesting thing, because up until that point, I was like, she's a one-dimensional bad guy. And then her line of, "Just let me do this," I went, man, if she had said that more emotionally, and if she had said that more powerfully, I would have been like, man, yeah, she's like, I know, obviously I don't agree with her, but ultimately she's just a grieving mom who
Right.
her mind broke. Kind of like Wanda. The whole point when you're watching Doctor Strange 2 is like, oh, she's pure evil. But like, I get it. You're a crazy mom because you lost your child. I get it. This movie, not until the last like 5 minutes does it try to pass that off as a thing. And I'm like, if you had leaned into that the whole time or built up to it, maybe I would have bought it. But like, it was too little too late, where you're going like, just let me do this, and then she hears her say mom, and so then stops.
Yeah.
Like she heard Martha, and then
How do you know that name?
how do you know I'm a mom? How do you know I'm a mom?
My daughter used to call me mom.
And then she lays there in the pool with her dead daughter, and I'm like, this all could have worked, but it didn't.
Yeah, and I'm like, they try to make us feel for her a little bit. It's like you clearly
not
see it's about
enough.
her kid. You
Yeah.
clearly get a little bit of flashbacks, but they're barely any speaking. It's like in that sort of flashback filter that some things have.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
just
on
kinda-
the VHS tape
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit. Yeah,
It's just very,
nostalgia baity.
yeah, just tiny moments too.
Which, once again, could have worked if her performance backed it up. But her performance at no point keyed me into the fact that, like, she's a real human person that I sympathize with, that, like, because even though she would go to such awful extremes as, contacting demons, that's something you can make sympathetic. You can make anything sympathetic if you tell it right.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know when the turn happens. They don't immediately set her up as like the grieving mother. They make her
No.
look far more like psychotic, like she's
They make
performing
her,
experiments on these
she's
kids.
insane. She's a gaslighter.
Like, she's
That's what I
creating
was
zombies.
like. Halfway through this movie, I thought this movie was a commentary on gaslighting, and I was like, this is a bold movie to make about a poor guy who isn't actually angry, but this woman manipulates him into appearing angry. I'm like, that is quite the statement to make in today's society.
Yeah.
And then they know that was just a moment, and then they move on. I'm like, so what's the point? Yeah, they never make her sympathetic. She is just this manipulative bitch.
Yeah. And then at one point you find out, she's trying to bring people back, and it's her kid, and of course she's sympathetic. It's a parent. But the first time you see the daughter floating in the pool, and they see the blood trail, I know she probably just like hit her head and fell
yeah.
in.
You thought she killed her?
I thought she like tried to discipline her too hard, hit her, and she drowned.
I was about to say I wanted them to do more with the blindness, but the more I think about it, the more I realize they kind of did. So, first of all, the deodorant spray thing, which I thought was interesting. Kind of wish they did more with that moment, but that was still a cool idea. But then I'm also thinking, and maybe I could be wrong, I don't remember well enough, But in the scene where she's watching the tape of the pool party, and then Piper walks in to watch her watching the tape.
Right.
And she pauses it, and then he goes, "No, can we keep watching it? Describe it to me." So she starts describing Kathy to her, like, oh, she was so beautiful, and she, you know, so happy. She's smiling right now. Oh, and look, there's Oliver. And when she said that, I was like scanning the kids. I'm like, I don't see him. And then I stopped thinking about it. Now I'm wondering, was he not there? And she was just lying. Because that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because she can't tell that he's not there. So I'm wondering now, I would want to rewatch that scene and check. Because that would be a cool little subtle thing hinting at, because we didn't know yet that he wasn't actually her kid.
Right.
I don't know. This movie might be a movie that gets better on a rewatch. Like I said, this reminds me a lot of Cuckoo, where I'm like, I could actually probably enjoy this more if I would just watch it again, but I don't know that I will.
I won't. But you let me know if it gets better.
Yeah, I definitely like horror more than you do. So that helps.
Being scared from a movie just isn't an emotion I go to movies for.
Like I said, normally I want a horror movie to do more than that. Just like I wouldn't go to an action movie that's just action. I want there also to be something else.
I would do that.
And frankly, even comedies, I want the comedy to have substance to it too. They don't always have to, and I can enjoy it, but I will enjoy it much more if there's more to it than just the one singular genre thing.
Your hangnail scene where he
Ripped
starts
it all the way down.
Yeah, he
and then you can
rips the
see the hand especially was what got me, where it was like, it was such a good effect where like you could see the muscles and the bones, and then the blood didn't like squirt out, it just, you know, oozed out. I was like, that was a good effect.
Oh gosh. And he starts eating his own arm.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say
Eating her arm, that was good too.
Yeah.
Saw some tendons and shit.
Yeah. She bounced back from that one. I wasn't sure she was going to. I thought the kid might have taken her personality.
That was
and then
another
went
scene
on.
that bugged me too. Was so like when Wendy, the other person from the
Child services or the police
the
department.
social worker.
Yeah, social worker.
Yeah, the whole time she's maintaining, well, like, oh, there's nothing to worry about, and then she hears something in the backyard, and she goes, "Don't go back there." And I'm like, well, how's she gonna get out of this one? And then she just doesn't. She just goes, "I'm bringing her back from the dead. You have to let me do it." I'm like, really?
Listen,
Really?
she worked there for 20 years, okay? That they have known her.
For 5 of them. She spent a lot of time in her office, okay?
All she had to do, you know, for the friendship that they've had for all these X amount of years, you know, just let her kill a kid to bring back her daughter. Alright? It's a simple equivalent exchange.
That's exactly where I'm at, though, where
Except
like
for the
she's
extra
so
kid.
one-dimensional. Like a real person, just like, be a little bit smarter, be a little bit more something. Don't just be like, oh, nothing to see here, I'm just using demons and killing babies and shit. Like, what are we doing? Chill, okay? You're almost there. Execute the plan. All right. I don't know if I recommend it or not. Maybe it's your thing, maybe it's not. I think if you're a fan of Talk to Me, I don't think this is as good, but I still think you'd enjoy it. I think it's a very similar vibe, very similar scares. I think the first one was definitely more memorable. I think I don't know what I think. Justin. Get 'em.
Listen, if you're a fan of horror movies, I can see you probably liking this one. Or maybe your tastes are too discerning for this one. I don't know. I don't know what you're
Such
into.
a fake thing. Hey, do you like movies?
I'm the king of fake.
Do you like films?
Listen, you gotta put on your politician speech.
This is one of those. 7.7 and a 73%. That's very high.
Yeah,
Very high. Marshall Schaefer of The Playlist wrote,
of course.
he gave this a 50 out of 100. When they can translate something into a tangible I've been drinking. When they can translate something into a tangible sensation, like the camera effects of focus that take viewers into Piper's distorted field of vision, the film operates within a comfortable range for the directors. Where they struggle to locate resonance is in the emotional realm.
that's fair.
We could have just turned on the camera and said that, shut it off, and we would have been closer than we were over the last 40 minutes trying to talk about this movie. That, Marshall, thank you.
What
You
about-
said exactly what I was thinking.
What about all our spoiler talk?
Yeah, we just say dumb shit. Thanks for watching, guys. Give us a review, rate us. Also, subscribe. Nobody's subscribing. Y'all are watching, you're not subscribing. Why not? Do it. We'd
Just
like
click-
to actually grow as a channel.
Just one button click.
Yeah, follow
Well,
shit.
Notifications too.
You don't have to. I find those annoying personally, but if they help you remember to actually watch the videos, that's cool.
I mean, listen. Our videos could use all the help they could get. Listen. We gotta compete against all these
What
big
do you
channels
say?
they're subscribing to on YouTube.
Our videos are better though. We talk like we're friends.
But we need the algorithm to understand that.
The algorithm seems fun. The algorithm is showing us to people, and we're getting views. Those views are just not translating to anything, which is frustrating because you like us, right? Right? I haven't checked the podcast statistics in a while. I know we're doing better on podcast form than we are in video form, which makes sense. I kind of expected that.
Huh, never looked at the...
Well, you
I
would
mean,
have
if I
no way
could,
to.
yeah. I would just look at a view count if there was one.
There
The listen
isn't.
count, I
you
mean.
could see how many reviews we have, which is 2.
Hey.
Well, 2 on Spotify and 3 on Apple.
Hey,
That's it.
it's a whole 5.
Which is funny because we actually have more listeners on Spotify than on Apple. Yet we've got more ratings over there. 5s. All 5s.
Y'all love us.
All 5 of you. All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Wait, I didn't hear you say they were positive reviews.
Bye.
Bye.